A lot of people see the TV persona, but today I want to talk to the man directly. The mindset, the father, the leader, and parts of Ant Middleton that nobody gets to see.
I'm a man of integrity, and I believe that there's no growth in comfort.
You've been special forces, you've been on the front line, you've had control, you've hunted, you've been cancelled, you've rebuilt yourself numerous times, and you're still standing. Most people would crumble. It seems like you've lived 9 lives. It's lovely to have you on, Ant, and today we're going to just cut through the noise and we're going to keep it real and we're going to keep it organic and just try to deliver a message to the people in the best way that we can. I want to start off by asking you a question. What was the hardest single moment in your life? I imagine there's been quite a few of them that's reshaped you as a person.
The hardest single moment was leaving the military. That was tough.
A lot of people have that as well, as we know with the problem what's going on around the world.
It's something that I didn't think that I'd struggle with. You know, I've got a bulletproof mindset. My skin is solid. You know, I've got skin of a rhino. I feel like I'm impenetrable when it comes to, you know, my physical attributes, my psychological resilience, and my emotional intelligence. However, losing that sense of identity, therefore my sense of purpose and belonging, hit me like a steam train, mate. It really, really took me to an area of my life that was my biggest downfall, but in turn, my most valuable lesson. And that's when, within a few months of leaving the military, I found myself behind bars. It was a case of, wow, how did I get here? And it was quite simple when I broke it down, when I had time to think about it. It was the severe lack of identity. And when you lose your identity, you lose your sense of belonging. Where do I belong? Do I belong in the military? No, I'm not there anymore. Do I belong in society with my friends? They don't really understand my humor, my character, my attitude, my personality. Do I fit within society? No. What happens is you get confused, frustration kicks in, then anger and violence. And when I look back at that whole situation where I lost my identity and my sense of belonging and purpose, I went down that spiral: confusion, frustration, anger, and violence. And that was my single most hardest fall, shall we say. You know, when you fall from being a special forces operator to sitting in a cell, and to your left, you've got someone that's just robbed fucking an old person. You've got a druggie next door to you. And I'm not, I don't know their situation, but that sense of shame hit me hard. So when people come at me after that, and especially with what I've been through in the special forces, when people or situations or organizations come at me after that, there's not really much they can do.
That makes sense, because if we walk down the street of London today, you will come past homeless person after homeless person after homeless person. And there's a massive epidemic on the streets of London that...
Most of them are veterans.
That's what I was about to say. Most of them are veterans. People go from the military life and then are just chucked back into civilization, civvy life. Go and get on with it. Well, from the way I understand it, 2 years ago, there was bullets flying over my head and I was saving people's lives. And now I'm walking down the street, going into Greg's, getting my coffee. So I can imagine that would be hard. And how did you pull yourself back? Of course, you went through the negativity, the period of time that was quite dark. So you was in the trenches, you was in the prison cell, right? Your whole world has just come down on you. How did you pull yourself back?
Within any negative situation, there's a positive to be had. But you've got to be willing to dive into that situation head first, right? I talk a lot about positivity, but without negativity, you wouldn't have positivity. Right? You need to dig into those negative situations to really identify where that positive seed, that positive light is, and there is a positive in every negative situation, no matter how overwhelming it is. And I remember sitting on my bed And then just thinking to myself, being completely honest with myself. That's one thing that is a process that I use to get through most situations, is accountability. I hold myself to account with everything that I've done. If I've messed up, where did I mess up? I'm completely honest with myself. And I remember thinking, how you sat here? How have you gone from being a special forces operator to sitting in a prison cell? And I had time to think about it and break it down as well. And when I look at the two worlds, I made a mistake of mixing the military world with society. The military world does not mix with Civvy Street. You know, you cannot do the loop there and you cannot function in the middle. You're either a military man or you're a civilian, right? They just don't mix. So firstly, I sort of separated the two worlds. And then I realized that the way that we function in the military, you know, we're taught to counter aggression with extreme aggression. Someone's aggressive to me on the battlefield, I've got to be extremely aggressive in order to counter that and stay alive. And then with violence as well, you know, how do I counter violence? With extreme violence. I was taught that from the age of 17.
Yep.
So when I look at those two elements, I think, well, there's zero tolerance to violence in society. Just cut that out of your life. That was quite black and white. I could do that. Just cut that out of my life. That's an easy thing to do.
Yep.
It's the aggressive side that I thought to myself, right, I've got to tone down the aggression. There's no need for me to ever go into code red aggression ever again. And a lot of people go into code red aggression through road rage, through, you know, just someone disrespecting them. There's no need to let go or let someone else or a situation control your emotions to that code red aggression. Yeah, I might get a bit, you know, peed off. I might get a bit annoyed, but I don't need to go into that code red aggression anymore. And that was the biggest lesson that I took from there. One, don't mix the two worlds. They don't exist. Two, violence, cut it out your life. Code red aggression, cut it out your life. But also I realized that if I could train myself to be the best soldier in the world, I can train myself to be the best civilian in the world. And this is where a lot of people go wrong, because when you sign off the military, you get a year's notice. And what they do is they just throw courses at you. Go and do a PTI's course, go and do a Chippy's course, go and get a trade under your belt. But they don't train you, not untrain your mind. They don't train you to be a civilian. They don't let you know that the humor's completely different. If you go out there with your military banter, you're going to offend every single person that you meet. You're going to get cancelled. You're going to get, you know, you're going to lose your job straight away. If you go in there with your aggressive attitude, because that's how we tackle things. You know, we're aggressive. People are going to think that you're mad and that you've got anger issues. And before you know it, you're going to lose your job.
So you channeled your aggression.
Channeled my aggression. But also just thought to myself, what is this new world that I'm entering? What is Civvy Street? What is society? Oh, well, actually, it's completely different to being in the military. So all I need to do now, train myself to be the best soldier. I'm going to train myself to be the best civilian that I can possibly be. Bring over all the positive attributes and characteristics that I ascertained in the military and utilize them within Civvy Street. And it's working.
You're definitely on the right path. You've going from where you've come from. To where you're aspiring to get to now, you definitely have harnessed that for
progression,
for the better
right?
of the good, the good of the better. Progression. Every day wake up is an opportunity to be 1% better than yesterday.
You got it, mate.
And that's exactly what you've done.
You got it.
What's something that you've got wrong throughout your life that still bothers you today?
Nothing. I don't live with regrets because I am completely honest with myself. I hold myself accountable. And when you hold yourself accountable and you're honest with yourself, the problem's right there to be solved, right? When you lie to yourself, guess what? You live a lie. A lot of people do that. They lie to themselves. They live a lie. They ignore something that their body's telling them and it will come back and bite them in the ass. I literally debrief myself every single day. What could I do better? Where did I go wrong? How can I be better? How can I do better? And in my heart of hearts, everything that I do, I don't go out to offend. I don't go out to piss people off. I don't go out with any malintent, ill intent. Everything I do, I just want to better myself. I want to better the people around me. And I want to better the team or the organization that I'm working with or within. So guess what? We're human. We're going to get things right. We're going to get things wrong. I love the process, Kane, of trial and error. I will jump into something so out of my remit where people will be like, and what are you doing? You know nothing about this. Well, guess what? I'm going to learn. I'm going to jump into it. And guess what? If I succeed, I'm on to the next stage. If I fail, guess what? I'm going to learn.
You're going to grow.
I'm going to grow, and I'm going to become a better version of myself.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a numbers game. The more I try, the more I fail. But the more I fail, the more resilient I become, the more knowledgeable I become, and the better I become at problem solving. So I know that I'm going to fail. I failed up to now in my life, mate. I'm going to fail to the day I die. I know that, so are you.
Failure's a lesson, though.
But it is. And it's the way that you look at things, and that way, if you acknowledge that and go, do you know what? Done the best that I could do. It didn't work out for me. Let's reattack this situation. Let's look at it, how we can look to the team and tackle it. And, for mission success, if you wish. But I don't allow any failures to define me, nor any people to define me due to my failures.
Yeah, let's do this again. But this time we're going to do it with the lessons that I've just learned.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
And if it goes wrong again, then the time we do it after that, it's going to be even stronger.
It's life.
So you're getting stronger and stronger. It is life. I've failed 4 times. This is my full venture. And I'm going to take all those lessons that I've learned to make sure that this is going to be perfect.
Well, you haven't failed 4 times, and this isn't your 4th failure. You've hit obstacles and you've overcome them in a certain way that's got you where you are today.
Yeah. And without them, I wouldn't be here.
Exactly, which is probably, you look around and you go, actually, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Without that experience and without those failures, then you wouldn't be in the successful seat that you're in now, thriving, growing, evolving,
I wouldn't
and
be
progressing.
sitting talking to the next mayor of London. I wouldn't
Exactly
be here
that.
without those lessons. So I look at a failure for me is a lesson. Every time I fail, I'm excited because I'm learning something new about myself. The next time that I encounter that situation, I'm going to be better.
Great process,
I'm going to be the best version of me.
Great process.
Hug it.
Yeah, embrace it.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Embrace
mate.
the failures.
I can see it in your eyes, mate. I can see, and again, this is with the energy. I know when people are genuinely excited about life, whether they get it right or they get it wrong, they just embrace it. They go with it, and they're not scared of failure. Yeah, when I look into your eyes, I can see that you're not scared to fail because you know that if you do, you're going to use that to your advantage as a lesson.
I'm just going to get stronger.
Yeah.
To bring on the failures.
Yeah,
I'm going to get
I think
stronger
that's a
and
really
stronger.
important message, mate, to get out there is the fear of failure cripples people. It stops them from committing.
People are so scared
It
from
stops
failure.
them from becoming the best version of
100%.
themselves. It limits them.
So your message is go out there, do it. When it feels scary to jump, go and jump, fall hard, get back up.
But
Go
also,
again.
when it feels scary to jump, look to your left and to your right. Who's going to jump with you? You can only get so far in life by yourself. So when it does get scary, I guarantee you, if you've got a good team around you, look to your left and to your right, they'll be scared as well, right? But it's a case of, do you know what? We're going to tackle this together. If we get it wrong, guess what? We've got 3 fucking minds. We've got 12 limbs. We've got 3 hearts to really, really re-attack this situation and get it done. So who you surround yourself with and the importance of teamwork and team bonding, which is more important than teamwork, to have a bond within a team to go, no matter what happens, we've got this. We're going to stick together like glue and we're going to re-attack the situation. That will just force you to commit time and time again. And what that allows you to do, I'm not saying you'll achieve everything you set out to do, but anything that presents itself, you will not be fazed by it. I'm not saying you'll achieve it if you commit to it, but it won't faze you. And when you get to that stage where nothing in life phases you to commit to,
that's dangerous.
That's when you're dangerous. That's when you go, tick. I'm on that right road of progression.
Let's go. Anything. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Try
absolutely,
everything
mate.
once. Let's go. How did becoming a father change the way that you define strength that you've been taught?
It changes everything when you become a dad because you've got this human, this tiny human that's 100% reliant on you. You are 100% setting the example every time that individual looks at you, talks to you, speaks to you, watches you when you think they're not watching. The sense of responsibility, being a father, and we get it wrong a lot of the time, we get it right a lot of the time. There's no right and wrongs, but I love that responsibility. It gives me drive, it gives me a passion, it gives me a purpose, it gives me an internal purpose, knowing that I'm going to set the benchmark for a human
generations to come
who are going to step up and take on 50-60% of me on how I act, then ultimately, you know, them being unique to themselves with the other percentages on how they want to, you know, grow, evolve, keep up with the world, etc., etc. But I love that sense of responsibility. My children, hence why I've got 5 of them, are my driving force. If I didn't have my children and my wife, I don't know exactly where I'd be, but I don't think like that, because when times get tough, the challenge to make sure that I can put food in the mouths of my children, that I can put a roof over their head, that I can provide them with opportunities in life, not a comfortable life, but opportunities in life, and some of those opportunities might be comfortable. That's the challenge that I take on with a full heart. I never shy away from that challenge. And I've been in situations that I talk about when I was in prison. You know, I was pulling in things left, right, and center that I'd never do in my life, just to ensure that their lives didn't change. And then guess what? When I got out, I made amends of that. I made sure that every single person that helped me out, every single person that they got, you know,
reciprocity
and more, you know, and it's like, and I
you was
love
there
that.
when I needed you.
Yeah. Yes.
And now I'm going to be there for you.
Yeah.
Anything that you need.
Now, and again, that responsibility, mate. I love the sense of responsibility of being a father, and you know, that unconditional love that will just drive you through.
Got this energy coming off of you, mate, where I've touched something there that you're evidently infused with and excited, and is your drive, your kids and your family, maybe without you even realizing, but you do, is a massive driving force for you, because you're just getting excited. You're happy, you're smiling.
I'm picturing my children now, and I'm picturing their smiles. I'm picturing when I walk through the door and they're jumping on me, and I'm just, you know, that alone, just, you know, I don't need to tell them how hard I'm working. I don't need to tell them what I'm doing for them, what I'm shielding them from, you know, what I'm protecting them from. It's just that pure, you know, that pure love that they give me that just tops up every single artery, every single, you know, vessel in my body to go out and just deliver.
Philosopher. As a father myself, you got my heart beating fast, and all I can see in my own head is my little boy running up to me when I walk through the door. Daddy, look at this, what I've made, hugs me. What we do, because they didn't ask to be born. That was decisions that we've made. So we need to lay the best foundations that we can and give the best image of dare I say it, in this very fragile world that we live in, an image of a real man.
An example
of a real man.
But the example is strength, it's love, it's compassion, it's grit, it's determination, it's, you know, so many things, you know, that you
succeeding through failure.
But just failure is a man-made construct. You know, it's like if you're not failing internally, then how can you fail externally? You know, I've got, like I say to people, you know, just because someone's set an exam and, you know, they've said that you failed, that doesn't mean that you haven't learned lessons. That doesn't mean that you failed internally. You've just failed a man-made construct, or, you know, societal construct that probably isn't for you. So
who are they to determine that you're a failure because you didn't pass their test?
But that's what we do. We go, oh, I failed, therefore I'm a failure.
Yeah, it's not. And there's such a big awareness around mental health from both male and female. And there's a lot on both heads that not a lot of people speak about. And it's about continuing, as we've mentioned several times already, continuing to progress, learn from your mistakes and get bigger and get better.
If you can harness the fear of failure, just go, do you know what? Failure is just like breathing. You fail every single day in some little shape, way or form, whether you're late, whether you put the wrong shoes on, whether you put the wrong suit on, or your shirt buttons, there's so many little failures. I say it's like everyday breathing. Failure is everyday part of your life. It's going to be there. The moment you shy away from it, you are limiting yourself. If you can harness that one fear, and there's lots of fears and phobias out there, but if you can harness and process the fear of failure and make it work to your advantage, that will open up a vertical of limitless access to yourself. As in self-belief will kick in. You'll just start, that fear of, you'll start pushing other fears aside as well. Fear of what other people think, fear of missing out. It has such a positive domino effect.
Yep.
If you can get rid of that fear of failure or just learn to harness it and make it work for you.
Don't you find it weird that when you look at entrepreneurs and you look at anybody that has been successful, they all say the same thing? You've got to fail and you just come back stronger. Every single entrepreneur that I know, that I speak to, has been at rock bottom on multiple occasions. When you feel like the world's against you, just pick yourself up, dig yourself out and go again. I'm a massive believer of, what is the right image of a man? For me, the concept of a man is that I will not share my emotion with anybody. And that's a big part of my problem. And I do speak to people about it. It's nice to get it out. But get yourself back up and continue. This is your job, is to provide. Thousands of years, we would have been hunters or gatherers, right? I would have been a hunter. I would have been out there hunting for food for my family, same as you. We have to continue.
But you talk about emotions as well, and this is what people do. With your emotions, more or less everyone in life experiences negative people taking charge of our emotions. Okay, we let it happen once, twice, and then we go, we shut that door and we go, poof. In order to protect myself, I'm never opening up this emotional armory, which is full of emotions, ever again to anyone. Right? I'm going to use that. So what you do is, again, you not only keep them locked away, but you don't even realize there's so many different emotions that haven't been used that can be accessed by positive people. Now, when positive people, and this is why I say to people, surround yourself with positive people. When positive people have the ability, that they've got the emotional IQ, the emotional awareness to know when something's up and to use your emotions to better you, to your advantage, that's a door that remains closed through negative people taking charge of your emotions. But when positive people, and we don't think of this, or we never really experience it because the doors are shut. But when positive people take charge of your emotions, you will operate and function on a completely different level. When people are there and they've taken charge of your fears, taken charge of your phobias, or directioned you, or mentored you, or pushed you into controlling and harnessing your emotions and making them work for you, that's positive people. Completely different ball game. So we go from the negative to the closure, and we never experience, or rarely do we allow us to open it up for positive people to take charge of your emotions. And yes, do not get me wrong, you're going to have to go through that trauma or that experience of negative people taking charge of your emotions again, but never do we allow positive people to. And I've had positive people help me through the door. When I was in combat, just a little squeeze on the shoulder. Let me know that they're there. Not even a word they've said. They've just gone, don't worry, brother. The moment and I'm scared, and they've just taken all of that fear away from me just by them telling me that they're going to be behind me. Just a little squeeze. No words come. And they took charge of my emotions, and they got me through that door. They kept me alive, and that's the power of positive people taking charge of your emotions. So don't lock them away. Do not limit that armory of emotions that you have by closing that door and sealing that lock forever, because you're missing out on that positive trait of it.
What an answer. There's something that I've always lived my life by. as you've just said, it's who you surround yourself with. You have to be you are a product of your environment. If I'm around 5 drug addicts, the chances are pretty high that I'll become the 6th.
Yep.
If I'm around 5 entrepreneurs, affluent individuals, do very well for themselves, good men, good family men, there's a good chance I'll become the 6th. So I 100% concur with you. You're absolutely correct. You are a product of your environment, who you're around.
Correct.
And you want to, we get a choice to decide who we're around. Like we can choose. And my message would be, if you're not in a good position, if you're in this negative mindset, pull yourself away from the people, look at your circle. I could
100%. And I break it down even more where people can relate to it. I'd go by the rule of 3s when it comes to positivity. 1, have you got a positive mindset? 2, is the environment positive? And 3, the people within that environment, are they positive? Now, I go by the rule of getting 2 out of 3. So if I've got a positive mindset, or I'm in a good state of mind, and I'm going to an event that's, you know, the environment's quite negative. It might be a pub. It might be quite loud, but there's positive people that I'm going to see.
Yep.
I'll take that risk. I'll go, do you know what? I'll go into that. If I've got a positive mindset and I'm going to a function that I don't want to go around because I don't like the environment, and I'm going around people that I don't like, then I'll go, oh, the odds are against me. So what's the chance of me going into that environment, negative environment, around negative people, and draining me psychologically or emotionally in a negative way, draining all my positivity out of me? So I think to myself, well, that's not worth, me. That's not worth the personal sacrifice of me entering that. So I go, and if I'm not in a good headspace, if I go, I'm not in a good headspace, however, I'm going into an environment that, a party that I really want to go to, and I'm going with my mates, then guess what? That's when you go into that environment, use that environment to your advantage, use those people to your advantage to top back up, your social battery or your positivity.
Plugging back into
so
what
I
you
go,
want.
Positive mindset, I've got positive people and environment. 2 out of 3, go for it. 1 out of 2, probably steer away from that situation.
Yeah, because you know what you don't want to put yourself in.
Correct.
That's a very, very good way of doing it. Sort of the laws are on your side if there are 2 boxes ticked. If there's not, then going into this with a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, correct.
You don't want that. You don't want the negativity.
And I think that comes with wisdom and maturity. So over time, because we do, you might have had a shit week at work and you're going to the boozer because the lads are drinking, and it's a bit, it's like we go through that cycle. You live and learn. Like I talk about trial and error. Going through that
rat
trial
race.
and error first. Yeah, it's a rat race, right? And you go through it, and then hopefully you learn from each exposure. You learn something from each exposure, and you take something from it, and then you get to a stage where I've broken it down, where I've gone, wow, right, 2 out of 3, I'm good to go. Ooh. 2 out of 1 against me. No.
I'm
steering clear.
Stay out.
Yeah.
Now you've lived through chaos, I think is fair to say, at points throughout your life.
Absolutely.
You've seen systems around you just completely fail. And this is now why so many people are trying to take control, because the truth is nobody's coming to save you. And that's where we step into the light. As a business, we do believe in control. And unfortunately, I feel that we're living in a world where control is being demonized. Control is being ripped from beneath our feet.
And why do you think that is? Because those above you want to control you. They want
want
you
us
to
be
feel
puppets.
like you're in
we
control.
know what you will own nothing and you will be happy.
Yeah.
But when I'm speaking to clients, and we're now seeing more of the retail arm come into gold or make inquiries into gold because they're worried about control. If I keep my money in my ISAs, or I keep my money in my more conventional methods of savings or investments, and we do go down this digital path, which I've been having a massive headache about because of the digital ID as directors, they want to have something where they can feel control. And it's the same reason why when we first started speaking, you come to me.
Correct.
Because you wanted to be able to have a saving strategy, investment, whatever you want to call it.
That's something that I could hold.
You can control. It's the only real form of a currency, in my opinion.
So answering that, 100%. And I'll just say to people, if you do your history sort of lessons on gold, you'll know straight away that it's
a no-brainer.
It's absolute no-brainer, right? And you don't have to go deep into it. Whack it into ChatGPT, do what you want, and just go the history of gold, and you'll just see it's a tangible asset. You can hold it, you own it, and year after year after year after year, it's just gone.
And it's completely off the grid. It's decentralized. It's yours. You can control it. Just type in on the internet, what's the performance of gold over the last 12 months? Well, it's over 50% ROI, tax-free, if it's British legal
nearly
tender
60,
coins.
isn't it?
Almost. Mm-hmm. What's the performance over the last 3 years? Well, it's almost 120% tax-free profit. The last 10 years, well, historically, we know the price of gold has doubled every 10 years. But over the last 10 years, the environment's been somewhat more fragile than previous years. And the price of gold's risen in an increase of over 350%.
This is why I say, do your homework about gold, and I guarantee, then go to someone trusted like yourself and Britannia Bullion, which I put my trust into you. And I'm safety and security conscious, mate. I'm just like, everything that I do is like, right, DD, safety and security.
When you come on board, that's what I saw, of course, right, we will try to give him the best suggestions. Mm-hmm. But my God, when I got off the call, I was like, just spoke to Ant Middleton about buying gold. There's got to be more to this, because his ethos is protection, security, preservation, safety. So that's then when we partnered up, and here we are now. And now with every single passing week, you're becoming more of a gold bug.
And it's something as well that, it's one of those I wish I would have got into, a lot earlier. But realizing the layout of the land right now, I'm so glad that I've got into it at the time that I did. Yep. Because wow, talk about control. You just talk about the landscape without getting, political. Look at the landscape in the UK. It is unsecure, it is unsafe, it is unprotected, it is out of control.
People are paying 50% tax to walk down the street and get stabbed in the back. Mm-hmm. There's
insane.
And I've so many friends, and I saw a statistic yesterday, 175,000 entrepreneurs have left the UK over the last 12 months.
It's sad, mate.
There's no shock. You come here, you pay ridiculous cost of living, you pay ridiculous tax, and potentially get stabbed in the back. The safety isn't there. When anyone says to me, come up to London, I'll try and do everything I can to stay away from London. It's not the place you want to be. The security, for my young son, I don't want him growing up in the UK, which breaks my heart, because I was so patriotic as a youngster.
I get it.
Really, the UK, Britain, United Kingdom and England.
But that's what they want, and I've fell short of it. I'm guilty of it, but that's what they want, and hence that's why I'm coming back to really give things a big push, to implement change, to give things a go in London. And again, just the whole capsulating safety and security. And this is why our message is so important, because when it comes to safety and security, there's 3 elements of trust. Do you trust people with your personal safety? No, of course you don't here.
No way.
100%. Do you trust people with your personal health or the government? No, you can't even get a doctor's appointment.
You've been to NHS recently.
Yeah, and you're queuing up for a disgusting amount of hours. Yes. And then do you trust people with your personal finances or the government with your personal finance? No. So they're failing on all metrics. Front. So safety, non-existent, cannot trust. Personal health, cannot trust. Can you trust them with your finances? Cannot trust. So when I go on to safety, that's my expertise. Yep. Actually, and then I can fuse in finance with Britannia Bullion, with gold. This is how you secure your finances. This is how you protect yourself. Yep. And then the personal health I'm working on is part of my manifesto, and it's something that we need to really, really work on, because when you can trust people, when you feel safe, when you can trust people with your personal health, and when you can trust people or an organization with your personal finances, again, 2 out of those 3, you'll start to thrive. You'll start to thrive.
You want to be there. We'll have an impenetrable GDP.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The country will be booming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we don't have the weather as you do in the UAE or Dubai. If we get 2 out of the 3 correct, everyone's going to come back.
100%.
We was a powerhouse. We have one of the best navies in the world. We're an island, right? We're an island. We have one of the best navies in the world, one of the best air forces in the world, one of the best special forces in the world. We used to have one of the best national health services in the world. We used to have a solid foundation of a royal family and a government.
Look at all of those verticals.
They've all declined. They're all horrendously declining.
And our island is the easiest to defend. You know, we should be able to defend that. Hence why we've been impenetrable. You know, we have got this huge moat, you know, of cold, icy waters, you know, rough seas. Talk about a deterrent. You know, where are you going to come through the sky? Well, guess what? We've got the best RAF in the world. And guess what? We've got the support of the Americans. It's like,
it feels like though, and
it doesn't make sense, mate. It doesn't. But what does make sense is securing your finances with gold. That made huge sense to me, mate, honestly. And I'm not just saying that because we partnered up. You know, I came to you way before we partnered up. And also securing our borders, et cetera, without getting into politics. They're the things that we can control and that we must control, and that we need to take back control. Yeah,
I'm happy you said that, because me personally, apolitical politics is not my gig. Let you guys deal with that. It bores the life out of me as well. Of course, we have to know what's happening in politics to be able to service our clients to the best standard. But I will stay in my lane, as I want everybody on my team that I've delegated certain jobs to stay in their lane as they do. We are here to give suggestions and share with you or to members of the general public what makes sense to us.
That's what I loved about you guys. You're almost military type-esque in your approach when it comes to planning and preparation. You know, roadmap. This is how much you got. Right, okay, like for me, I'm going to start.
Where do you want to get to?
I'm going to start off buying coins for birthday presents and Christmas presents for my family. You know, my daughter, you know, for the last 3-4 years, gold coins, put that away.
Yeah.
You know, we do that until she's, you know, my youngest daughter, till she's got a huge deposit on a house there. You know, it's those things that you wouldn't know about unless they spoke to Britannia Bullion or yourself. And that's what really, really pulled me towards you, was like, there's a roadmap, Ant. There's a roadmap. Tell me what you can afford. Tell me, you know, and again, what you can afford, what you want to do, how you want to protect it. And you just like, and it made sense. So honestly, when I got it back, it's like military orders.
We might not have the best answer, but and I think that's important. We can only share with you what makes sense to us in the hope that it would resonate with you. So think of me as a gardener. If you've just hired me to have some trees grow, I'll sprinkle the seeds, put the earth in, and you've just got to water them if you want to see them grow. If you don't, then don't water them.
And another huge point for me, and again, for me being completely new with gold, you're like that. And if you want to sell it, 98% on spot, we'll buy back
straight away.
And I'm like, and because it's rising, you know, stupid amounts. Yeah. I'm like, what? So if anytime I want to just go, Kane, take that back.
The most liquid asset in the world.
There you go, mate. Done.
The most liquid asset in the world.
And I love that. And this is why. This is why I'm endorsing it and I'm promoting it and I'm partnered up with you guys, because for me, I'm like, protection, I can hold it. It's mine. It belongs to me. I can give it, you know, pass it around, do whatever I want with it. If I want to sell it, guess what? I don't need to go anywhere else. One-stop shop, a full 360 turnkey solution. And that's what I loved about it. And again, keeping it simple.
We don't want our clients to go anywhere. And that's my biggest goal, as I've done on several other videos and podcasts, is simplicity. We're not here to complicate anything. You don't need me to. It's already a very complicated landscape that's in front of us. We're here to give you the simplicity, to cut through the noise, and to give you the facts and the figures to back up what we're saying. If we say something to you, we say, well, the reason we're saying this is because if we look at the proven track record over the last 10 years, gold has seen an increase of north now of 350%. Fact. Here you go.
And that's why I'm here, mate.
One thing that I've now started to realise, I've always been aware of it, but now I've started to really focus on and home in on When the world feels uncertain, people need certainty. They don't need hype. You don't need paper. Well, paper's gone now, isn't it? And even the polymer plastics diminishing. It's a cashless society we live in. You need something physical, something that's going to be safe, something that's still going to be there the morning you wake up and you turn the mainstream media, the news on.
Something that's worth something.
It's always there.
It's there. It's. I'm very much. I need to see it to believe it. I need to touch it, and then I know it's real.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what, and again, that's what I love about gold. Yeah. And again, I know I'm talking on real layman's terms, simplicity, because I'm not a gold expert, but these are the things that have attracted me to gold. It's like, I know what I'm getting. I know how much it's making. I've done my homework on the history of gold. That alone, I can sell back. I can buy it if I get into a spot of trouble. Just go straight back. I'm getting a return of interest on it. I'm building on it, and I can touch it. I love that bit. And I know it sounds simple, but I can go now. Kane, let's go to the. I can touch my gold. Yeah. I can go.
You can see it, you can hold it.
Yeah,
my wealth's there.
I love that.
But then there's been instances over the last couple of years where there's been glitches or there's been hacks or there's been outages where you can't log on to your bank. I think it's very egotistical I've got friends that look at all them ones and zeros on my electric screen. Or what happens if the internet goes down? What happens if the power of grid blows up? Right? And we know that, I'm not going to go too much into this because there's a lot of speculation. We know that this Russian spy vessel has been off of the coast of the UK looking at underwater cables, etc. Supposedly, again, they're not in our water. Leave them be. Don't care. We've let them know. Look, don't go any further. But let them be. But you've got the current powers that be above us that are trying to prod. They're stabbing the bear, and the fucking bear will answer back. My fear is, and we're being ploughed into this. And I don't want to go too much into it. I know that you could definitely sit here speaking for hours about this. We do need to be predominant. We don't need to let somebody walk over us, but you're not in our waters. You're outside my protection parameter. So I don't really give a shit what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same as me. Kane, there's some boys sitting down the road and they're smoking. Don't care. Let them.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do.
Yep. Oh. Absolutely, mate.
And that's exactly why we've now got so many people turning to British gold coins. British gold coins are capital gains tax free. All gold is VAT free. So there's an additional benefit, especially in a world where there is silent stealth tax under every rock you lift up.
Correct.
Right? You pay tax on what you earn. You pay tax on what you invest. You pay tax on what you purchase every day. Look at your receipt. Minimum of 20%. Central banks have been net purchasers of the yellow shiny stuff now since the beginning of COVID on the 23rd of March 2020, day before my birthday, so I remember it very vividly. Physical demand on gold is at multi-decade highs. This is, for me, it's about protection. It's not necessarily about profit. I do believe profit is something that will come rather organically, in my opinion, and it is only an opinion. I don't have this crystal ball, but we can look at the hundreds, thousands of years of factual data and evidence. It's security in a very unsecure world.
Agreed.
What signs do you see today that reminds you of when things were just about to go wrong?
My ear is very close to the ground. I can feel the ground trembling. I can hear the desperation of people, the cries for help. And I sort of heard that when I was in combat. I heard that during the beginning of the pandemic. And I'm starting to hear that now, but it's a different type of tremble. It's a different type of cry. We are teetering into the frustration and anger of a nation, and the division that I've seen abroad where I've had to serve is now very much on our shores. And the last time I felt that or saw that was, believe it or not, and this might sound a bit drastic, was in a combat zone. I feel like we are on the edge. And when it comes to safety and security, people are, that's the number one priority. I've been putting a lot of data out and a lot of trials out there, shall we say. And the number one thing that's come back above all is people just want to feel safe and secure. And they're willing to do anything now to protect themselves, to defend themselves, if government do not turn things around, or if someone doesn't step into a position of leadership and command and control, then I can feel a real
slippery slope,
unsettling happening. And the last time, like I said, I felt that was in a war zone, in a combat zone.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think so. If you look at the mess we're in, whether Labour said it was Conservatives and they took over the job here and it was a mess there and blah, 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 blah. All as bad as one another, I think, really. When I'm speaking to my clients, and again, I can only share with them my own opinion. This isn't necessarily like gospel. You've got to believe what I believe. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Although it doesn't feel like free speech in the country is allowed much longer. It won't be allowed for much longer. Where we're now going when I'm speaking to my clients is, my personal opinion is I don't feel that we need politicians to get us in a position of security, in a position of safety, in a position of protection for our families. As a father, I worry about that quite a lot. We need soldiers. Leaders, veterans, people that have been to combat, people that have seen our country succeed in the protection of our borders up until now. We need leaders. We absolutely. We don't need politicians in their suits.
And it's almost going back to the calling for Winston Churchill, when Chamberlain was like, we're sort of diplomatically, and they were like, we need someone that can make a decision, whether they get it right or wrong. Winston Churchill failed on so many metrics prior to stepping into that position as Prime Minister and ultimately saving the UK and Europe. But they were just like, he is got combat experience, combat leadership. He's failed, but he's just he'll make a decision. Whether he gets it right or wrong, he'll make a decision. He's got a backbone. Yep. He's a leader. And looking around the room, he's the only one. They didn't want him, but he was the only one that they knew that he could take the weight of the world on his shoulders. He had bulletproof skin. Yep. He would make a decision, whether he got it right or wrong. He wouldn't care. He would just execute what needed to be done, and he would follow through with it.
Let's get the job done.
He would follow through with it, and he would be relentless in his approach for success. So when it came to the crunch, they called on the fighters, the warriors, those that failed a lot, but those that could lead and those that could decision make.
Yeah.
Make a decision,
stick to
and
it.
Go with it. And that's what's needed right now.
Absolutely. And I doubt that you'd be the type of person that when you are in the PM seat, that's going to take down the picture of Winston Churchill to get that out.
Absolutely not. He's going to be
standing there.
London office.
Yeah, that's it. Straight right above your head.
There you go.
If we could give, or if you could give men one piece of advice to get through the next 5 years, whether that be for themselves personally, because there are a lot of men that are suffering with mental health, and men need to know that we're here for each other, and women too. We're here, I'm here for you, brother. Mm-hmm. I'd walk down the street and I would help anybody. In a world where we can do anything, be nice. But what would your advice be to men that are now in a position where they're really going through it, they're really struggling? What's your advice to get them through the next 5 years?
Easy. Stick together.
Yeah.
This isn't a time that the fight isn't amongst us. Long gone are those British sort of ways of, football clubs fighting against each other, us going out and scrapping in town together. It's like that needs to stop. We need to unite. We need to come together. We need to reestablish our sense of pride, our sense of belonging, our sense of purpose, and our sense of identity.
Yeah.
We are proud Brits. We are hardened warriors. We are, innovators. We're explorers. We're adventurers. We're educators. We're, construction trailblazers. We have got such a rich history, and that has been taken away from us. We've got such rich culture that has been suppressed. Therefore, our identity has been suppressed. Be proud of who you are. Remember where you come from. And ultimately, the biggest tool that we have in life is one another.
Yeah.
Come together, unite, and let's use each other to our advantage.
I think people need to open their mouths as well. You need to speak to people. If I have a problem, if I feel down, or I feel sad, or I feel like I can't continue to do what I'm good at doing, I'll be the first person to go and speak to somebody. And by speaking to somebody, you're dealing with your problem. And
when you voice it, when you don't voice it, it rattles around your head, and it doesn't really make sense. But when you voice it and you actually hear it from your own voice, you hear it in words, and you can actually take it in, that's when it will hit you. So that's the power of talking. It's not necessarily, getting it off my chest. I'm hearing my own words, because they live in here 24/7. So they bounce around, and you don't hear them. But when you actually talk and you can actually hear your own voice with your own words, and then you're making sense of that, you're processing that, and you're understanding that, you'll have a penny drop moment where you go, bloody hell, have I just said that to myself? Rather than it being locked up in your head, bouncing around and not making any sense. So talking, communicating on a level with like-minded people and people you trust is a must.
of course, absolutely. I agree. People do need to speak more. I would help anybody in the street. I don't think I'm above anyone or below anybody. I'm neutral.
Always at your side.
I'm always at your side. I'm a human. I live and breathe the same air as anybody else, right? I'm not this millionaire, billionaire. I'm a hard worker. And I don't care what background you're from, what culture, you're a person to me. You're elements made up in this flesh. You have a soul, you have a heart, you have a brain. I'm here to help you. Doesn't matter.
And what about people like myself that are immortal? Where do I fit in? I'm joking.
Well, yeah. You can take the business over when I'm gone. I think I'm pretty immortal as well. Everything I've gone
Wolverine.
through.
I'm really 540 years old.
If everything collapsed tomorrow, which we know is very close, the system, the reputation, the money.
I don't give a shit because I've got gold.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was going to say, what part of you would still be standing if everything went wrong tomorrow morning?
If everything went wrong tomorrow morning, my sense of pride and drive towards my family, and then I'd go into my back garden, dig up my gold and start all over again. Yes. Because guess what? I've got something in hand.
Real money.
I've got my drive and motivation, which are my children, which are my wife and my friends and family. But I'll have a bit of gold stashed away somewhere just in case everything collapses.
Yeah. And the more I get to know you, the friendlier we become. You are proof that a man can be broken, shot at, damaged, destroyed, essentially, but you can be rebuilt. You can build yourself back up again. You come from adversity, you come back stronger. And that's someone that we need. It's someone that I would like to fight for my son's safety walking down London. And I speak on behalf of the whole of the UK. I believe if people have a backbone and they realise what's going on.
Mate, do you know what? I'm like one of these villains.
And you come back sharper every time.
You know, the way they just attack you, but they don't realise that they're just fueling me. They're giving me more power. They're giving me more purpose. They're giving me a bigger challenge. You know, I thrive under pressure. And that's why I keep coming back. That's why you cannot cancel me. You cannot break me. You cannot destroy me. Yes, you can take me down to my needs, but guess what? I will crawl.
Yeah, I'll come back stronger.
Towards you, I will crawl in a way where I'm progressing percentage at a time.
Wicked. Thanks for being here, and thanks for helping me become a better version of myself. Every time I'm around you, I'm learning, I'm absorbing, I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting more powerful. And I see it as part of my job to help as much as I can to make sure that you can start rebuilding and fixing London again, the UK again. And I'm sure our clients too are on the same path as me.
What's really nice, mate, and to finish off, it's really nice to be able to really focus on what I'm good at, what I'm a subject matter expert at.
Yep.
Knowing that I can put my finances over here, go, Kane, look after that for me, over to you. I need to do what I need to do. There you go. And again, look to my side, pass that part over to you, knowing that no matter what I do now, I can go back to that and I know that it's safe and secure.
Maybe you need to make me Chancellor of Exchequer.
Let's do it, mate. Let's do it. Done.
Well, there's a lot to say about it. On 26th, we've got the budget. It's going to be horrendous. We've had several warnings about the next budget and how there's going to be cutbacks. They've already taken the heat away from our OPs that have paid in all their life. I won't go into that because that's sickening. So many manifestos that have been broken. And we're supposed to believe in these people. We're supposed to trust them. We need to fight back, and we need to have somebody that's going to say they're going to do something and they're going to get it done.
Execute it to the best of their ability.
That's it.
Listen, I'm going to step up, step forward, and I'm ready, mate. Thank you.
You need to. It's for our kids. Thank you very much, Ant. My man, thank you. If you're watching this and you want to get clarity, you need to get clarity in a really confusing world that we live in, follow our channel, share our message wide and far, and take control of what we can control. Like Marcus Aurelius used to say thousands of years ago, I will spend 1 minute focusing on what I have control over rather than 1 minute on something I do not. Focus on what we can control. And that's our money, that's our wealth, that's our family. See you next time.